Hello, and welcome to Nexus at Night, your weekly-ish Vanguard-ish podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. Banless aside, I'm doing all right.
Yeah. And as you can see, Atlas is suffering from shitting out of his doo-doo ass disease.
I hate that one. Personally, I'm not a fan of that one.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty awful, isn't it?
I would prefer the normal kind of diseases, probably.
Yeah. I guess it depends on the kind of disease.
I guess that's true.
You know. Although norovirus has been going around recently. Hopefully it's not that. It probably isn't.
Yeah, maybe.
So yeah, how has your week been?
Short because of the holiday, but mostly all right.
Yeah, that's true. It was a 3-day weekend. That was nice.
But unfortunately, this weekend is not a 3-day weekend, unfortunately.
I know.
Unlucky.
4-day work week never with the state of the world.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. I see. Apparently shitting out of your doo-doo ass disease is just going around his school, which is why Atlas is on the can right now.
Well, that's unfortunate.
So, yeah. As for me, I don't think anything in particular is going on. Like, I had to go to the dentist to get fillings over the weekend. That was fun.
Oof. Well, yeah. It's over now.
Yeah. Couldn't feel my mouth for half the day. That was fun. But the other thing was that there was like a New Year's parade happening like a block away from my house, which meant that when I got back from the dentist, I could not find parking for the life of me.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so, my car is currently parked like several blocks up a hill.
That is tragic. That's gonna suck for future you.
Yeah. Like either tomorrow or Sunday if I decide to go to locals. I also haven't gone to locals very much recently because no one's been signing up. And I guess it's just January things.
Oh, it could be.
Oh, Alice wants to know all of our Chinese zodiac signs.
I really want to make something up just to piss them off. Yeah. Why? What does he want from me? Can he?
Because he was born in the year of the dog, and so now he wants to know. And he's not here in person for us to make fun of him.
But I want to make fun of him.
I know. Is he going to do some sort of weird horoscope, but with the Chinese zodiac?
God, I fucking hope not.
It's Matt, year of the butt.
Year of the yeah, that's right. I am year of the butt. That is so true. He'd be like, "Come the fuck off."
It's okay. It's just his inner white woman coming out.
It happens to the best of us.
Well, according to the Trump presidency, we are all officially women and or gender unspecified.
What is happening in the world?
I don't know.
Why is everything like this?
That is an excellent question. But yeah, they started defining genders at conception, which, when you're like a zygote, I don't think, biological sex really factors in just yet. So if we're going with the technical, like, if you're technically a fetus, you don't really develop your, like, sex parts until, like, a couple weeks into development. But since they say at conception, technically we're all gender non-specific, or gender non-specific. So, yeah. Everyone is non-binary now. Congratulations. Yay.
Glad they really thought this through.
And... I will say the funny parts of politics because all the actual things that are happening are depressing as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in happier news.
Yeah. So speaking of depressing,
oh,
did you have?
I don't have anything. I was hoping you had something. My fault. I was hoping you had something that was not that. Hello? Oh, well, it looks like the Beers Rudicus has had some internet issues in addition. So how's everyone doing today? Is everyone chilling? So true, Alice. Romeo and Juliet. I think Romeo and Juliet's kind of boring, personally. But that's just me. It's not my favorite Shakespeare play. The Wacky Racers MTG set. I actually do have a comment on this because I did see some of it. So I was looking at the speed mechanic, and it is funny to me that despite the mechanic being called speed, it is an incredibly slow mechanic. Like, really slow mechanic. Yeah, it's not really Wacky Racers. It's like speed something. Aether Drift, I think is what it's called. So you have like a bunch of vehicles that are like, like some weird vehicles that you use. And then there's like this weird speed mechanic where like, let me see if I can look it up so I'm not saying something fucking wrong. The first time in a game you control when you play a card with this mechanic, your speed becomes 1. And then whenever your opponent loses life during your turn, whenever one of your opponents lose life during your turn, the speed is less than 4, you increase your speed by 1. And it can only increase once each turn. So you have to damage your opponent once each turn for 3 turns to get to max speed. And then once you're max speed, things get abilities. So it takes like 3 turns to get some card you've played online.
Hello, I'm back. What are we discussing?
Somebody was asking me about the start your engines mechanic in MTG. But like, I can't understand. Like, this mechanic it's so funny. This mechanic to me like has a name called speed, but is a slow mechanic. Because from the turn you play the card, it is at least 3 more turns until you get to max speed. Or
nice.
Two more turns. Yeah, it's at least 2 more turns. Include if you can deal damage the turn you play it as well. It's so bad.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, it's so that's the thing that confused me about it, is the name, mostly.
All right. Anyway, what were you saying before my internet decided to shit itself?
I don't remember what we were talking about, actually. Oh, we're saying in happier news, and then I was like, and you said, oh, did you have something? And then I said, no, I was hoping you did. But you didn't hear that part because your net cut out.
Yeah. Okay, because well, speaking of everything falling apart around us, ban list. Bushiroad had its English conference, and I didn't feel like recording a separate video for it, so we can talk about it now. Yeah, well, unfortunately, the fucking Discord bot didn't post the goddamn ban list, so I have to go to hell for it.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
Let's make it its own separate window.
We'll remember this.
Yeah. So yeah, ban list. There's also other stuff that was announced during that conference that we'll go over after, but as I expected, standard is the copy-paste ban list that Japan got like 6 months ago, so we got to have it in entire format too late.
Hell yeah.
Yay. Now, to be clear, I completely expected this to happen. Bushiroad has given me zero confidence to expect them to do anything better for the English format.
Wait, one of these wasn't over there in Japan, though, right?
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
But, you know, broadly speaking, I feel like maybe it's too early to hit set 5. Like, Levi Dross and the Bat just kind of came into relevance. So I could see not wanting to hit it. I feel like Bushiroad maybe could have gotten away with hitting Sergauon with Reziel, because I'm pretty sure those two have existed together for the entirety of Reziel's existence. And Reziel has at least been in like the fringe of playability ever since release. So like maybe they could have gotten away with that, but again, we can't have nice things. But there was one other change that we got that is unique to the English ban list, which is they hit Gridora to 2.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's the third one that gets you. Which, okay, to be fair, I don't play premium. Like, I don't know how impactful Gridora is overall. The impression I've gotten from people who know better is that this hit is fine. Apparently, it really is the third one that gets you. So for a lot of people, this is like, okay, Mega Colony is still playable, but not like annoying in the way that it was when Gridora was unrestricted.
I'm all for Mega Colony hits.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all they did.
Even if Mega Colony were bad, I'd be for Mega Colony hits.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, this really feels like the barest of bare minimum changes, right? Like, there's a lot they could have done for premium. Standard, I'm not expecting anything outside of just copy paste. But, you know, for premium, there's a lot that could be happening. You know, a lot of things outdated about the format. There's the fact that, like, you can't use energy, so a decent chunk of cards are just unplayable. Like, crests haven't been a huge problem yet, but they are kind of annoying. Like, Shiranui, this particular meta has been very strong, and they did, like, comment on it in their, like, post regarding the January update, but, like, they also didn't actually hit Shiranui, even though the deck, I would argue, is more annoying than Mega Colony when it gets going, but... And, of course, like, the general concept of, like, the crests is just bad, because everyone is kind of expecting Crest Hari to just be, like, a format-destroying super threat. So, it really does feel like Gridora to 2 is the barest minimum, where they're like, alright, you guys keep whining about a premium ban list, here you go.
Finally.
Yeah. So, as long as we're talking about that, let's go over to, you know, their post addressing the, like, rules update. So, you know, Shoujo Doji is kind of running off of old data. It is like a format behind at this point, but, you know, Shoujo Doji at its peak was very powerful, and, like, the hit makes sense. I don't know if it's needed at this point. If you look at more recent tournaments, I don't think Shoujo Doji has had as much of a presence. Like, it was probably fine in it, given the current meta. They also had their eye on Leonorn, but Leonorn isn't that powerful, and I do think in this current format, it's probably not good anymore. They didn't say anything about the hit to Shiranui in Standard with Furai, but that was just because Shiranui was annoying at that time as well. But again, that hit just came super late. And the change for premium format, the three they were looking at were Mega Colony, Nubatama, and Neo Nectar. So Mega Colony has seen a lot of use recently, and I believe, like, recent results, it has done, like, pretty well for itself. So hitting Gridora makes sense, and most premium players seem to agree that this is a fine enough hit. Like, Nubatama is, like, the most used clans by X1 players and has a very strong win rate, so they're keeping an eye on it for restrictions, but because of the new strides coming out today, actually, like, they're only keeping an eye on this instead of outright hitting Nubatama, which, not sure I completely agree with that. And it doesn't seem like they are addressing the crest, which is a core part of, like, why some of these decks are going to be very powerful. Because it's not like the actual cards themselves are particularly amazing. I'm sure the cards themselves are also, like, decently strong, but the crest really is probably the biggest thing. Zaru, Atlas is not on stream right now because he's suffering from shitting out of his doo-doo ass disease.
It's true.
And also, Neo Nectar, despite being the third most used clan, is not that strong at all, so Neo Nectar's just kind of washed and doesn't warrant a ban. So the next update for the fighters rules will come in April of 2025. There may be emergency ban lists if the situation requires it. AKA, if everyone keeps bitching about Crest Hari, they might actually do something.
Holy shit, there's no way.
So yeah, that was the ban list. Somehow, despite coming in expecting this, I come away still feeling a bit disappointed with this. Like, I feel like if they're not just going to go ahead with like a slaughter ban list for premium, which not everyone thinks is warranted, but at this point, like, there's at least some people dooming about how if you take away Gridora, then the format's just going to degenerate into these like 15 attack combo decks, which, if that is a real problem, there should just be a more comprehensive ban list, right? But also, the other complaint that, like, you know, if you kill Gridora, Mega Colony is unplayable. Why is this a thing? You know, Bushiroad should be making more premium sets, right? Like, we shouldn't have to worry that one card is like the load-bearing pillar for your entire clan. This card's what, like 6 years old now?
Yeah, but then how would people defend their crazy, messed up card?
But yeah, so whatever. I've had like a bigger rant in my brain, but I'm too tired to actually like go out on with it. No, I'm not trying to quit out. Aside from that, we do have announcements for everything else from the conference. So first up, the Skyride manga is being adapted in English, so that's coming out in April, and we are also getting Filia alongside that, which, boy, that sucks. That, you know, the new Chronojet support is probably not going to be playable because we don't have Filia yet. Odium is not going to be at her full power because we don't have Filia yet. Odium is doing fine without it, but, you know, it would be nice. At least we now know when we are getting this. One of the big problems recently is that, like, they haven't really had box topper promos. So that sucks. And it's good that we at least know where this is now.
I will say this, Nevlin.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Like, you're like, the main deck cards are definitely like the difference maker.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to like the G Zone stuff, minus like some clans having like very bad G Guardians or whatever, if that even. But the other side of the coin is I blame V for a lot of stuff, and I have an possibly irrational hatred of V. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, okay. Here's the thing, is like, I do agree we need more main deck support. Like, premium needs an actual direction, right? Like, the community can only do so much trying to keep this zombie format shambling along. Like, what we actually need is for Bushiroad to release dedicated premium support to, like, give the format a direction.
And not strides. Not all strides like they do.
Yeah, not all strides. Like, some new strides are fine, especially because, you know, the strides they printed post reboot have been far too strong. You know, look at how many things from the 2019 premium collection that had to be banned.
Remember when they just printed New Idaho? That was crazy.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, like, those 2 years with the premium collections have not been great. But as of right now, it seems like Bushiroad maybe decides to like errata a couple of cards.
Yeah, grade 1, grade 2, and a new G Guard, that'd be huge.
Yeah, like, that'd be huge. But also, like, there are so many archetypes that have just been forgotten, both because V was awful and just changed the mechanics of so many decks so that they don't work with their old, like, pre-reboot support. The way that encounter cards are not really designed with premium in mind. So you just have, like, cards that have your clan written on them that just do not work with anything in said clan. You know, and of course, like, because strides were really powerful in standard format, they've printed a whole bunch of random G-Zone hate. And we've gotten into a situation where they have printed a Grand Blue card that you cannot actually play in Grand Blue because the only Grand Blue deck that exists is a Stride deck, and the D version of Dancing Cutlass only gets its effect if you don't have a G-Zone.
No, you're definitely correct, Villar. Bushiroad does not really care.
Yeah. Yep.
But
anyway, I'm gonna finish covering the rest of the announcements before I get into Bushiroad not caring about premium, because we're not done with that yet. So yeah, set 8 coming out in June. I believe we are also getting the master deck sets for Leonore and Jeweled the same day. Band list. Here are just all the world finalist prizes. These all look really nice. Good luck to everyone going to Worlds. Couldn't be us.
Is it the freer end one? Holy shit.
Yeah.
Or the Fern one, I guess, but you know what I mean. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. So Top Cut gets a bunch of participation promos.
Winning.
Yeah. And then, okay, so this is just like a special starter. I see. Was there anything else?
Well, who are our casters? I want to see. All right.
Yeah.
Most of the usual suspects.
And yeah, so this year we are getting a Summerfest instead of Springfest because the BCS season goes goes up through like May now. I think Worlds is in May. So instead of Springfest, we're getting Summerfest. So it is going to be a teams format, and I'm going to just hide the comments now because of the other thing that we need to talk about, which is the format. So standard will be a team format, as is standard for these like mid-year fests that aren't BCS. So everyone needs to have 3 unique ride decks. You can play the same nation, but the ride decks can't overlap. It's best of 1, 30 minutes. Number of rounds will depend on the schedule with a cap of 9 rounds. Best of 1, 30 minutes around for Top Cut. No time limit for the finals.
Do you remember that? I don't remember which D format it was, but there was like a format in Japan where people were just playing like a different ride deck, but the main deck was like almost identical.
Yes. The crazy thing is you can just have 2 Resiles because you can play Resile and then the other person plays Resile Vita.
Good times.
Anyways, speaking of Bushiroad not giving a shit about premium, so premium is going to be held in an individual format instead of teams like standard. Also, there's a distinct possibility there will not be a premium format at your location. So some locations might just decide that, no, actually, you're playing Lyrical Monasterio instead.
Incredible.
So this is bullshit, right? Like, everyone is complaining about this. I don't even like premium, and I think this is bullshit. I like Lyrical Monasterio, and I'm wondering who the fuck asked for this. Like, who thinks that Lyrical Monasterio is important or popular enough to be, like, a main format?
I mean, clearly, I don't know. I got nothing.
Yeah, so, that's kind of depressing.
Dunking on my nutsack.
Yeah,
could be.
So, we're kind of hoping that, this is one of those, like, we just kind of need to keep bitching at Bushiroad. I think if we just whine and moan enough about it, they might actually be asked to do something for English.
Sorry.
It's happened. Remember in 2023 when they put NFTs into the lyrical set and everyone just ripped into them to the point that they were finally like, okay, fine, we will actually respond to
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was happening alongside the like way too expensive promo situations, which is how we started getting box toppers in the first place. So it does kind of feel like we've slowly slid back into the way things were around like early mid 2023. So, maybe if we just bitch and moan at Bushiroad enough, something will actually happen. We'll see. And anyways, here's the like actual product schedule. So we're getting set 6 in February. Hari Night Rose are out today. We are getting set 7 in April. Then we're getting the Koro Koro pack. Then we're getting set 8 in June alongside the master deck sets. There is a random gap in March for no reason, which is lame, especially because like set 6 doesn't change the format very much. So we're just going to go for an extended period of time in basically the format that currently exists.
Nice. Good old 4-month format, no problem.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe they'll surprise us with a random English exclusive in March. But yeah, that was all the like big news announcements that came out of the conference. God, that's just depressing. Trying to be a fan of this game. Where the fuck is my mouse cursor?
Anyone watching Frosty Faustings at all?
No, I am not.
Big fighting game tournament in Chicago.
All right. Well, now that that's done, there's the other thing we usually do every week, which is new cards.
What the?
Yeah.
New cards?
New cards. Yay. So I usually just skip all the cards of the day because the majority of them are not super interesting. So we're just kind of going.
Hold on. That's a ride line. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So I'm just focusing in on like new ride lines and stuff they usually reveal for like the weekly streams.
I see. It's a brand gate thing. Got it.
Yeah. So we have Envoy of the Moon rep sold. Look, it's a cute little bunny.
Yeah. Then
we have Follower of the Moon Fresnel. So when you ride on top of the bunny, you can reveal a grade 3 card with Vase Ruger, which is the new grade 3 in its card name. Search your deck for up to 1 Moon Gate, put it into your order zone, and if you search the deck, shuffle the deck. And if you put it from hand, draw a card instead.
All right.
When this unit is placed by riding from the grade 1, you can look at the top 7, choose up to 2 cards with Mythish in their card names. Put 1 into your hand, put the rest of the revealed cards into your order zone,
really
and
just shoving letters together and pretending they're words.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, the Moon Gate is a grade 1 order. You can only have 1 Moon Gate in your deck. So act in the order zone. You can Energy Blast 3, rest it, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 unit card with Mythish in its name, and grade less than or equal to your Vanguard, call it to rearguard circle and shuffle. And then if you have a grade 3 with Vase Ruger in its name, instead of choosing 1 card and calling it to rearguard circle, you can choose up to 3 cards. You call 1, and then put the rest into your order zone and shuffle the deck. Then we have Keeper of the Moon Vice Ruger. So, act, you can Soul Blast 2, choose a Moon Gate, activate the original act ability without paying its cost.
Okay.
So, the notable thing is that resting it is part of the cost, which means you can do it twice by erasing the cost the first time around. On attack, you can Counter Blast 1, choose up to 2 unit cards with Mythish in their name from your order zone, call them each to rearguard circle in the same column, and all of your front row units get power plus 5,000. And then, when your Mythish in its card name is put on the guard circle, you can take a Mythish in its card name from drop, put it to the bottom of the deck. That unit gets shield plus 5,000 until end of turn.
So, you get to do this twice.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to call a 4th attack.
Yeah. So you can theoretically just thin up to 6 cards from your deck.
All right. Seems solid.
Next, we have Crow Ring Mythish Ravnarog. You can have 16 copies of this card in your deck. And then if you have a grade 3 or greater Vice Ruger, it gets boost.
Okay. Sure.
Then, what the fuck? I lift Golmani. Jesus Christ.
These are just strings of letters.
Yep. You can play it with Counterblast 1, choose one of your grade 3 or greater vanguards with Vice Ruger in this card name, and it gets a continuous. All of your rearguards with Mythish in their card name get power plus 5,000, and all of your Mythish rearguards that are replaced by a card's ability get 5,000. So, if you call it off of the order, it just gets 10k.
So I guess the setup is you play 16 of this bird thing.
Yep.
You call a billion of them, have a bunch sitting in order zone. You play this card.
Mm-hmm.
Then they all get 10k. So you go 40, 40, probably another,
Don't forget, Vice Ruger gives it another 5k, so it's 45.
Oh, 50, 50, and then another like 38, 50, I guess is the plan here. And is that and do any of these require your opponents to have grade 3 or greater vanguards? I didn't see it.
Nope.
Oh, interesting. That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
So this is like the zoo deck, the not the zoo, but like the Legion deck where you just shove a bunch of the same card in one. Got it.
More or less. Next we have Heroic Deeds Draco Kid. So this is the grade 1 booster for Vice Ruger. So it has the same thing. If you have a Vanguard with Vice Ruger, it gets 5k. And then if it boosts Vice Ruger, it gets another 2k. And then you can Soul Blast 1, put a card with Mythish from drop zone to the bottom of your deck, and energy charge 3.
A lot of soul cost going on over here.
Yeah. And then finally we have the first Mythish, Wolfzan Rosnir. I'm not even gonna try with these fucking names anymore. When this unit is placed on rearguard circle, if you have Vice Ruger, until end of turn, when it attacks, you can attack the Vanguard and one unit in your opponent's front row.
All right.
And then on attack, if you have a Moon Gate, it gets 5k, and then you can Counter Blast or Energy Blast to draw a card.
Probably going to be counterblasting, I'd imagine.
Probably. Although you do also Counterblast a lot because of this order.
Oh yeah.
Just play Mobile Mine, it's fine.
True. Like you're not
yeah.
playing. Like you're probably not playing multiple. I don't know. You're probably not playing 4 of this Draco Kid, right? Because it doesn't have Mythish in the name.
I'm not even playing it in my current list.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't need the energy that much because all you use it for is the.
I guess you get a bunch early on that you're not using, and then you just use it when you're grade 3.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, I mean, you just pay Energy Blast 3 for the Moon Gate every turn. You're not using energy for anything else right now.
Yeah, so all the energy you get from riding up, you just still have.
Yeah. So yeah, that is the general thing with this deck is call 15 million copies of this fucking bird, and occasionally you can call this wolf that can attack 2 things at once.
That's funny.
Yeah, and all of your columns are going to be like 50k for no reason.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So, I've been testing this deck out, and it's basically just EVA, right? Like, you make fuck huge numbers, and then because you're thinning out like 6 cards every turn, you're just going to crit the ever-loving shit out of your opponent. Like, it's fine. The deck feels very obviously unfinished in a way that a lot of other decks don't, specifically because instead of printing more Mythish names, they were just like, no, fuck you, run 16 copies of this goddamn bird. So I think my current list is I'm running 14 copies of this, plus 4 of the wolf for like 18 targets total, and then 4 Bowl Mine because that was like the only other thing I had room for after playing like the order.
Though? Oh, and you have the order, right? I forgot.
Yeah. So like after the order and like your Persona rides, like the only thing I had room for was 14 copies of this, Bowl Mine, and then the wolf.
All right, but have you considered going down to 3 Bowl Mine and 15 birds?
Maybe.
That's probably an optimal number. I just don't feel like figuring it out.
I mean, they're like just from the name, the first Mythish. God, this entire word salad is making me slur my words more than usual. Oh yeah, and PGs.
Oh yeah, I guess you got to play those.
Well, okay, I don't count PGs in deck building. I just automatically assume 20 of my cards go to 4 PGs and 16 triggers.
Yeah, that's fair.
So like whenever I conceptualize a deck, I'm just like, okay, I have 30 deck slots.
Remember when RPGs were triggers? That was crazy.
I know. So yeah, just from the name, the first Mythish, it's very obvious there's going to be like a second and a third. Even if I didn't watch the anime and saw that there were more of them in the opening, I can just like assume that from the naming convention. So yeah. And then next week we're getting the new version of the Dragon Tree. Oh yeah, I guess there's some Eugene support. For you, Atlas.
Just for Atlas.
Yeah. It can stand something in the main phase.
Wow, that's crazy.
All right. And then for the Thursday stream, we got a bunch of Keter Sanctuary reveals. Some of them for what's her name? Liel, and then some of them were for Reziel. So when it's bound from rearguard circle by the ability of your Liel, choose one of your units that gets 5k until end of turn, and then if you use the divine skill during this fight, you can give two things 5,000 power.
Whoa.
This card sucks. When the fuck am I ever binding a grade 1? Maybe we'll get a new version of Liel that just binds and calls an entire column.
Maybe.
Anyways, the only card that actually matters, Blade Knight Relgiel. So when it's placed on rearguard circle, if you have a Liel Vanguard, you can Soul Blast 1, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose a grade 3 or greater Liel, or one Gabwelius from among them, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. Then during your turn, if you have a grade 3 or greater Liel, it gets 5k power, and then if on your rearguard circle or bind zone has a copy of Gabwelius, it gets 10k instead of 5. I really like this card. So, the thing I've always disliked about Liel Amorta was just how over-centralized it was over like what you could and couldn't bind. Specifically, you pretty much always had to bind exactly Idaros, because that was like the one good card you had. So Idaros, if you don't know, it has a continuous effect. If you have a card with the same name as him in your bind zone, then he gets 10k, and then when he's bound, you can Soul Blast 1, give your Vanguard 5k, and draw a card. So the problem with that is, like, because he only works when you have exactly himself in the bind zone, you, like, have to find him immediately, and then you, like, have to put it in the bind zone in order to, like, maximize how much power you get. And then in set 5, we got a new piece of support in Sequence Wizard, which, like, when something else gets bound, gets 5k, but that means it created this weird dynamic where it's like, okay, so you have one thing that you have to bind in order for it to, like, perform optimally, and one thing that needs to, like, stay on the board that to see other things get bound. So there wasn't a whole lot of flexibility with it. Gabwelius does help with that because Gabwelius is another decent bind target. So if you accidentally draw into another copy of Idaros, you don't just immediately brick your strategy. Can you tell how much I hate this fucking card?
you seem a little upset at it, yeah.
But yeah, so I like this because this only cares if you have Gabwelius in any capacity, which means you can choose to bind this, you can choose to bind the Gabwelius. If you find a Gabwelius, but you only draw this like later in the game, it's still fine because it'll have the 10k just by having Gabwelius. If you never find Gabwelius, it is at least still a 15k, which isn't great on like turn 3, but once you start Persona writing, starts to get a little bit better. So yeah, I like this card. The only thing is that it unfortunately does have the curse text in an era where a lot of things are not having the curse, are not like grade 3 locked as much anymore. But
yeah.
At least this doesn't need my opponent to be at grade 3, I guess.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's less bad when you need to be grade 3 than your opponent.
Mm-hmm. It just sucks that like it does currently feel like Liel isn't great in the early game, but I'll figure it out. Next up, we have Fierce Knight Marzord. So when your other unit is placed on his circle by the ability of your Reziel, Counterblast 1, draw a card, choose one of your units, gets power plus 5,000. It sure is a common or a rare? It sure is a common.
Yep, this card exists anyways.
Yeah. Knight of Severe Spear, Savills. When this is placed on rear circle by the ability of your Resile Soul Blast 1, all of your front row get 5k. And then at the end of the battle, it boosted if it was placed by the ability of your Resile, bind it to draw a card. If this does not telegraph that they are restricting Sergawon and Resile, I don't know what is.
They'll do it in a year.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Rosale will just have it all.
Yeah. And Valar is saying it in the comments too. Like, this is clearly just the stop playing Sergawon card. Which is going to happen eventually, I hope.
In a year.
Yeah.
They'll do it in
never
Japan in September. And then they'll do it here next May.
Yeah. We also got some promo, so we can see that the new lyrical card has a grade 3 set order and seems to have her own Shadow Army
Link
tokens.
Joker or not Link Joker lyrical card.
Yeah, I know. I want it.
I bet
Assuming
you
it's
do.
good. Anyways, next week we're revealing the new Bob Sagra, although we did get a glimpse of what it can do in the anime already. So it seems to have gotten a new grade 2 unit that can stand itself. She has the ability to arm something from the drop zone herself, so you don't have to go through the stupid convoluted loop of like, okay, you find a card that puts something in the drop zone, and then you have to find another card to arm it from the drop zone. Now Bob Sagra can just do it herself, so milling your arms cards essentially just searches them. And yeah, she got a new... I think the new arms... She has a new shield that gets plus 20k power somehow, and then a sword that gives her an extra drive, and then it looks like it retires itself at the end of the turn. So the new shield is really nice. 5k on the old shield was just nowhere close to enough. 20k sounds a lot more reasonable when everything can casually hit 40k by existing these days.
Yeah.
So yeah, that will be interesting to see next week. Bob Sagra has always been a deck that I want to like, and then just over time, the weird convoluted resource loop that they developed where you have to mill your arms card, and then you have to find something to arm from the drop zone, and the only way you get card advantage is you have to put it into the soul to draw a card, and then you have to find a way to play a second arms card somehow so that you can have the 2 arms cards you need for all your skills to be online. It was annoying. So I'm hoping that the new Bob Sagra just streamlines everything, and I don't have to play all the terrible triple R's that are $10 right now because I didn't want to buy them because they were bad.
Reasonable.
Anyways, we also have the DLC schedule for Deer Days because of course we do.
6 months behind? Holy shit.
Yeah, so in spring, we're going to get set 4. In the summer, we're going to get set 5 in Hari.
And sorry, Hari comes out today, right?
Yeah. And Deer Days isn't getting in until the summer. So it looks like Deer Days 2 is going to be out. It was actually out yesterday on the Nintendo eShop. Looks like it's coming out on the 30th for Steam, which I guess I will play it on Steam.
Weird.
All right, look, we need content for the stream, but I'm running out of gas after this. Atlas isn't here for me to just play random bad games with him. Also, they're going to be announcing an official Deer Days 2 tournament later this year, which, I mean, I guess that means I have to try playing it. I don't know if it's worth just getting it on... Okay, if I was smart, I would have bought it for Switch now, so we could have just streamed it, but I didn't bother doing that, so we'll just do it next week.
Did they say what platform the tournament's going to be on?
I don't know.
Because are they going to be able... Is somebody on Steam going to be able to play against somebody on Switch?
I don't think there's cross-compatibility. And then the conference. So yeah, I think everything here is just what we saw in the conference.
Wow.
So yeah, that was just kind of all of the news. There was a lot of it today. We managed to keep going for about 50 minutes despite Atlas not being here. Good for us.
Who's Atlas? I don't remember.
I know, right?
That guy. No crossplay announced. Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the City of the Wolves beta at the end of February, though? It's gonna be peak. Gato probably won't be in it, so I'll probably be checking out Vox Reaper, aka not Grant.
So yeah, was there
Grant
anything...
is like, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, was there anything else you wanted to talk about, or are you just chatting about your fighting game
I
stuff?
was chatting about fighting game stuff and saying that Grant is the easiest character in Garo, and it's not close. Grant is so easy.
All right.
But hopefully Gato is sick in City of the Wolves. Hopefully.
Well, hopefully you get the thing that you want. I totally understand your fighting game speak.
Yeah? Gato is the name of a character.
Mm.
He's an angry martial arts man.
That sure sounds like a fighting game character.
Yeah.
I don't even know what game you're talking about right now.
Oh, it's Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. It's do you know Terry Bogard?
Yes.
It's the line of games that he's from.
I see.
Yeah. So Terry Bogard is in the game.
Yeah, I have heard.
Marco Rodriguez.
Yeah.
That character is so hard in Garo in the Mark of the Wolves. Sorry, go ahead.
My weeb ass was just playing anime fighters like Blaze Blue. I'm still waiting for a new Blaze Blue game. It's probably not happening anytime soon, but you know.
Do you know the creator of those games is no longer at the company he was with, right? I just thought I'd let you know.
Yeah. No, don't worry. I've given up hope.
Yeah, they're all back on Guilty Gear now.
Yeah.
And Guilty Gear Strive is quite popular, so.
Well, that is unfortunate, but also like the story of Blaze Blue had more or less ended, so I wasn't really expecting anything anyways.
Yeah, I know very little about the story of Blaze Blue, and what I know, I want to know more of
it. It's a stupid, convoluted anime plot.
Yep. There is a Guilty Gear anime, that's true. They showed Biken for like a second, and people were freaking out. So,
I mean, I guess I could go back to trying Under Night in Birth 2.
Yeah, you should. That game's peak. It's about a bunch of Chuny kids.
Yeah. All right. And I'm not even gonna try to explain the stupid time shenanigans that happen in the Blaze Blue.
Only thing I know of Blaze Blue lore is what S stands for. ES, and I don't want to know anymore. I don't want to know anymore. I don't care. I don't care how long. I don't care if Wooly made a 7-hour video about it. I don't give a shit. God. I don't want to know.
Yep.
I'm also not really big on the Blaze Blue character designs. Yeah. Like overall. I think some of them are cool. Like I think Bang's cool. I think Jubei's cool. And I like Izayoi. And those are like the only two characters I think are even like cool. Yeah. But all the characters in Blaze Blue are like an immense amount of fucking effort for what? So
yeah.
Like that game's so hard. I'm like, no, I'm good. It shocks me like back in the day when Blaze Blue first came out. People used to say this game was like incredibly oversimplified. They were calling them Blaze babies. And now, you know, you look at that game, you're like, that game's hard as shit.
Yeah.
But it was
you know, I have long since given up on the idea that they will ever make a new Arcana Heart game.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the company making it went bankrupt ages ago.
Oh, that could have been true. I'm not sure. But it'd be cool if Love Max got rollback or whatever the latest one is.
Yeah.
Well, but like if Arcana Heart 3 got rollback, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. As far as like things coming up on streams in the future, Shadowverse Worlds Beyond is going to happen eventually, maybe. So that might be a time for me to try digital Shadowverse.
Clearly just boot up Uni. Clearly.
Yeah. Alestro's Clash, the beta is coming out in February. I did kickstart that, so that's something we can play. Maybe I'll subject you all to my horrible Yu-Gi-Oh! Gameplay one of these days. Yeah. I did it once with the Gimmick Puppet deck, but also Gimmick Puppet isn't a real deck.
That's mostly true. There's like very little Yu-Gi-Oh! Going on, so it's hard to say.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, ideally.
Yeah.
I hate it when there's a Yu-Gi-Oh going on.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm playing Drytron right now, and I've just decided, fuck it, we'll summon Vanity's Ruler because Drytron is really good at that.
You should simply play fighting games. That's what I think.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm sure
Yeah,
I still
we'll
remember Nanase routes.
Like, I will eventually go back to playing Unib. Maybe.
Do it.
Or
you can also
some
play
other
Melty
dumb
Blood
anime
Actress
fighter.
Again current code. Everyone can play Melty Blood Actress Again current code for $0 at what is it? Play.melty or something like that.
Fun.
Play.meltyblood.club. You can play that game for $0, dude. You can play Melty Blood right now with rollback.
Nice.
Yep. And there are like 93 characters in that game. Surely you can find one. It's so funny. It's so funny how many characters are in that shit.
Yeah, seems like
really there's 31, but everyone has like 3 styles, and some of them are like almost the same character but not quite, and they're all like, and they're very different from somehow, and you're like, okay,
yeah.
Or some of them are just 2 characters together,
like 2 characters in a trench coat pretending to be 1 character.
Actually, that's actually what it is. I will tell you this: don't play the fucking Nekos. That's what don't do it. I don't care how funny you think it is. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do
that
it.
bad, huh?
It's real bad. It's what you're not. Yeah, you're not gonna learn to play the game playing those characters. Sometimes it's like that. Like Street Fighter 4. Like if you were playing like Dan in Street Fighter 4, you weren't learning to play Street Fighter 4.
Yeah, I remember I played Jacko in the Guilty Gear that came out before Strive.
Xrd, yeah.
Jacko was just where Jacko was just a tower defense mini game.
Yeah. God, that Jacko was weird. Xrd's a pretty funny game. People still play that a lot too.
Yeah.
Especially now that it has rollback as well.
Nice.
You can go back and play Xrd. So you can play Jacko. You can play there's lots of cool characters in that game. That game's also some characters are quite hard, some characters are not.
Yeah. I mean, you know my disposition for characters. I just end up playing anime waifus every time.
There are a lot of those. There are a lot of those. So
yes, I'm aware.
Infinite choices.
All right. So, well, we've gone for almost an hour. Was there anything else we wanted to talk about?
We talked about all the Vanguard stuff, so that's the stuff we had to do.
Yeah, and Atlas isn't here to like talk about his life.
Who's Atlas?
Yeah, I know, right?
Don't even know that.
Yeah.
Play Dan to dunk on your friends? Yeah, it's probably.
One of these days we will actually just have a fighting game stream.
Oh yeah, there is a character in Xrd who is a girl piloting an old man mecha. So if that's your thing.
I mean, that does sound very funny.
That character's pretty good too. Heyoon is like, and it's not Kim, it's Kum Heyoon. I'm going to pronounce it specifically in that way. Yeah.
All right.
If something possessed me to play Xrd again, I'd play like Venom or something. I don't know. I think Venom's cool.
Yeah. Honestly, we should just let you like take the wheel with a fighting game stream one of these days.
Oh God.
So that I don't have to try and think.
Oh no, it's fine. Just say you were thinking about Kim Jae-hoon and Garo. Oh, that's fine. I got you.
All right.
Or Kim Kap-won from KOF. Who's pretty cool. He's a pretty good character in KOF. He just needs meter. But he's got really good DP.
Yeah.
All right, so
probably wrapping up because it's like
I'm just yapping. I'm yapping.
Yeah, we're just yapping. We finished the Vanguard news a long time ago. I assume Atlas is still shitting out of his doo-doo ass.
Yeah. Frosty Faustings is going on right now. It's a KOF top 8, so I got to see who qualifies for the SNK World Championship. Uedo Asamiya last year got second so many times and did not qualify.
Damn.
Because there's no regional leaderboard. So randomly people just get like shoved out. Justice, get out of here. Sorry. The Kim Capuan Justice. No, I got you. No, you're good. You're good. Sorry, I thought that you might Guilty Gear Justice for a second. What was I saying? I had to
second place. No.
Oh yeah.
No
What else?
leaderboards.
Mia got like second place like a ton of times and didn't qualify for the finals. So this time he's now like in grand finals waiting. All he has to do is win. He's got one more match set to win, and he's qualified.
Nice.
So hopefully he can do it.
Yeah.
And Violent Kane is already out, so the biggest threat is gone.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Should be
So
exciting.
that is probably going to be it for this stream. If you want to find us on social media, we're still in Hell at Nexus at Night. We're also in Not Hell, Blue Sky, also at Nexus at Night. I believe you can find Atlas at Atlas Novak, not in Hell, but he is on Blue Sky. I don't remember what all of his other socials are. His YouTube is The Epileptic Comic, which he was commenting on a while back. Where can we find you?
You can find me on Blue Sky and Hell at Wiggum's 2Gs.
Yeah. And you can find me at Plasma Eclipse in Hell or at Beerus Rudicus in Blue Sky. I will post there eventually, I promise. And that is it for this stream. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.